As-salumu Alaykum. Thank you for writing to our live session tonight. As I understand your situation, you're Muslim. However, you keep leaving Islam and joining other religions or studying other religions such as Christianity. And in the past 2 months, you've joined Islam and left 2 times, and now you're currently studying Christianity. The problem you're running into is that every time you leave, you want to go back, and you do. And then you want to leave again, and you think, well, why should I bother with Islam if it's stopping me from doing the things that you love, right? So I guess my question for you is to think about the following things, right? What are the things that you love that Islam is stopping you from doing? Is it drinking? Is it premarital sex? Is it celebrating holidays? What is it exactly? If you can make a list of the things that you love doing that Islam forbids, it would be really helpful. And below that list, right, if you could write out the benefits of these things that you love doing, and also write out the negative consequences of these things that you are doing, it might help you gain a better understanding as to why Islam may forbid a certain thing. For instance, right, alcohol is forbidden in Islam. Perhaps you like to drink alcohol. I'm not saying you do. I'm giving this as an example. But say you like drinking alcohol. So some of the negativities of drinking alcohol are that, we can't focus, we get drunk, we tend to not have full capacity to think. Some people get argumentative or violent. Some people become alcoholics. It damages your health, and there can be ramifications such as driving while drunk and killing yourself or killing someone else. That's just an example of something that's negative with negative consequences, right? Now, a positive might be if you have a drink of alcohol, it may make you feel more relaxed, right? So what can you think of besides alcohol that would make you feel more relaxed? Exercise, listening to soothing music, doing deep breathing, stress reduction, relaxation techniques, and so forth. So I'm not saying that the drinking is one of the things you love doing. I'm not saying that at all, but I only use that as an example, right? So with that example, if you could take that and apply it to the things that you actually do love to do that Islam is preventing you to do, you'll gain a deeper understanding of why it might not be good for you to be doing these things. And then that, in turn, will give you a greater knowledge of Islam, of Allah's wisdom and love for us, in setting certain boundaries within the religion, right? Because Allah doesn't forbid things that are good for us. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like in Islam, you're not going to find forbidden things that are beneficial. And another example would be eating pork, right? And I'm sure you know about the detriments of eating pork. So, in short, just make a list of the things you love doing that you don't want to stop doing, and write down the benefits that you perceive, and then write down the negative consequences or outcomes that may happen. And again, this may give you a fuller understanding of the process and why it is in place. And once you understand, this may help prevent you from wanting to leave Islam and go to another religion, or this back and forth that you've been doing. I also kindly suggest that you make dua and you pray to Allah and ask Him to guide you and to help you gain a fuller understanding and to help you on the right path so that you don't keep wandering, right? Because one thing we don't want to do is, wander away from the right path, the true path of Islam. We don't want to wander away from it and then, we die or something, right? Although Allah is most forgiving and most merciful, we want to be in good standing with Allah at all times. Of course, we're not going to be perfect because we're humans. And alhamdulillah, we have a lot to go to repent and to ask for mercy and forgiveness. But we don't want to be in a state of disbelief, should something happen to us. So that's another thing to think about. But I think that if you do analyze, what it is that, you think that Islam is taking away from you, and you really learn about why these things are not good and the consequences, it'll give you a fuller understanding and it'll give you more of a motivation to really, exert efforts into gaining more knowledge and staying on the true path. Additionally, what I find really interesting is that, you stated that you left Islam a couple times, but something keeps pulling you back. And that too is a sign, right? That's a sign that, you do love Allah and Islam is in your heart and you know that it's the true religion. You might not like some of the rules, right? But that does not negate the pull that you feel in your heart. The pull back to Islam. And inshallah, that may be Allah pulling you back because Allah loves you so much, and He wants you to live a good life, and He wants you, to have Jannah, inshallah. So that's a really, important factor to think about, why you keep going back as well. So please do make a list of the things you feel that you love, that Islam prohibits, and then write down the consequences, the detriments, as well as why you enjoy them. And if it is something that can be replaced with something that is halal and healthy and good for you, then by all means write that down too as an option. But please, inshallah, pray and just make a decision to dedicate your life totally to Allah, to Islam, to growing and living within this deen and doing the best that you can. Because in the end, in the middle, and in the beginning, your happiness is what it's all about, right? Aside from serving Allah, it's your happiness. Because living in the dunya and doing things that are haram, usually they don't lead to happiness, right, in this life, and most certainly not in the afterlife if we're not following Islamic foundations and values. So I kindly suggest that you please do consider this and resolve this as soon as possible, and just acknowledge that you are being called back time and time again to Islam by the mercy and the love of Allah. We wish you the best.